right in the heart of soul pulling.
This is you don't have to be perfect. As a father, this is a touchy subject because whether you're dealing with the courts, the family court system, whether you're dealing with the mother's family, whether you're dealing with the kids, and even the society, the educational system, you know, you don't have to be perfect because what it comes off as is a dad that can be considered perfect is even with a mom that's present. That's the same level. That's how unbalanced this is. But as a man, it's like you don't have to be perfect. Even if you are perceived as close to perfect, even the courts might have an issue with that because you got to have some type of dirt on you. Something's got to be wrong with you. I don't believe it because you're too good to be true. That can happen to you. You get what I mean? At the same time, you know, you had a kid with somebody because, like I said, this is not an ideal situation to have to be in different households. It's a normal situation now, but it's not ideal. So the fact that you're in this situation, that shows you're quote unquote not perfect, right? But what winds up happening is when it comes to the parenting between mother and father, the mother makes numerous mistakes. As you get older and the kids get older, you know, as they start talking and telling you stuff, because it's a lot of hidden things going on. Um, you realize the mother's been making mistakes since day one, but it's an infinite level amount of mistakes that can be overlooked because of just quote unquote parenting. But as a father, somehow you have to be perfect. You have to get it all right the first time. And if not, you have this threat of I'm taking this baby, right? That's a part of the issue. You know, you don't have to be perfect. If you're a disciplinarian, you have to be the perfect type of disciplinarian, of course, because it might be looked at as abuse. It's like, man, shut up. Just shut up. But you can't parent your child this way. I am a person who's not related to your child and doesn't know your child. I know better than you about your child because of whatever, right? If you're present, you know, you have to people put you in a role. You have to be perfectly present. You have to, you know, cheer when people want you to cheer and be quiet when people want you to be quiet and speak when people want you to speak, and you have to do everything at the perfect time, and it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. Then, you know, and from what I've seen, a lot of times I've seen fathers who are completely imperfect have a better relationship with their kids than people who are active and are just, reasonable and responsible. That's what goes with the territory, unfortunately. So it's like, the dad that is obnoxious, or the dad that's sometimes on drugs or drinking, sometimes the dad that just has a bad temper. The kids know exactly who they are getting, so it's normal, right? But if a father's just well balanced, it becomes an issue. But for me, what I'm saying is you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a situation where you need to be on your best behavior and people look at you like, Russell Wilson, like he can't be really like that. You get what I mean? He's really like that. It becomes an issue. So because it's an issue, it's sad, but you can't be you sometimes. But you got to throw that to the side and just be yourself. One of the main reasons I say be yourself is because there's something in your kids that's just that they get from you. So you don't have to be perfect, and you can just be yourself because you're gonna connect in some way at some point. Sometimes some people it's more than others, some people it's less, but there's something you can connect on, a common bond, right? So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to feel like you have to always be on your best behavior because that doesn't make sense. Like when you're in a court situation, you got to put your best foot forward for sure. But, you know, sometimes, and it's sad to say this, sometimes it comes off as arrogant to just be a normal parent when you're a father in these type of situations. It's like, how dare you, you know, make mistakes? It's like, what? That's parents make mistakes all the time, but you're not supposed to do it. It's one of those things where it's like a zero tolerance policy. So don't even play that game. Don't even take that into consideration. Like, listen, I don't have to be perfect. I don't. And I don't. And the problem with being perfect is needing to be perfect in other people's eyes, and they're gonna always move the goalposts on what perfect is. See, once you fit this thing that they think you need to do that's perfect, then it ain't perfect enough. You need to do this, and then you need to do this, and you're gonna always be chasing somebody's fantasy, and it's really a stalling tactic. That's how people stall. Oh, you didn't do this, and you didn't do this. You did this, but you didn't do this, and you did this, but you didn't do this. It's like enough is enough. You know, you can be you, be the best parent you can be, but you don't have to be perfect. You know, and then hmm, it's weird to have to say this because even when you as a parent, your kid's gonna let you know that they're not perfect. You get what I mean? So I can't do everything. I can't do this. I'm not this. I'm not that. You're gonna have those moments. So you know, don't let people ask something from you that even a kid can figure out that's too much. Because when you put that same standard to them, it's like, I know what I can do. I know what I can get better at, but I can't be perfect in all ways. Nobody's really perfect, so don't play the perfect game. Um, and one of the reasons I say that is because I saw a quote from David Banner, and he said an older guy told him, "If you keep playing like Jesus, you're gonna get put up on a cross." And that's normally what happens when you're trying to be the perfect dad, because you're gonna make all these sacrifices and all these concessions, and you're gonna do everything the right way and the noble way, and instead of people appreciating, you being overly reasonable, they're just gonna nail you to the cross. Sometimes you have to be imperfect to let people know, hey man, you effed around and you found out. Not, so be the best you can be human, but don't try to be perfect. You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna tell you that.